Alright, yesterday I organized everything outside. Today I'm going to be working on the inside here. And what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get the house planned, but right here and right here is the corner of one of the bedrooms. And there's a hallway that runs toward those windows there. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to grab all of that lumber there. That's all the 2x4s for the internal walls. I'm going to grab all of that lumber and restack it in where I think the hallway is going to be. There's a pretty good chance I'll have to move it again anyway when I build the walls, but I'm gonna put that over here. Before I do that though, I gotta organize all the tools, put them back inside the toolboxes, and try to make as much room over on, I think on that side of the house, so that when the insulation comes, first we're gonna load up that temporary shelter, and then we're gonna start bringing in bags of insulation. Some will go upstairs, some will be down here, but I wanna have as much open space as possible so that that can happen. We're also having our consultation for our electrical on the day after the installation gets here, and he needs a good 3 feet all the way around the perimeter. Wow. This is the first time I've stood in here and actually been able to see like how the floor space is gonna look, because I put those 2x4s in there before I installed that gable wall. We just had the open trusses. Wow, this is exciting. I think we're as ready as we're gonna be for installation tomorrow. What a whirlwind of a morning. Woke up, called the company that was going to be shipping the insulation to us, and they said, yeah, the first truck should be there within the next like half hour. So I was making coffee, I had just taken a bite of my toast, and I see this flatbed full to the top with insulation drive by, and I'm like, bye everyone! And so I came up here on the quad, and then I thought, oh, I don't have the camera, but then Katie walked up too, and look at it, we were so stressed about how much space it was going to take up, and if we didn't set up that temporary shelter, we would be in a tight spot here. But this is so manageable. We've got tons of room all the way around it, plenty of room to walk, and then the temporary shelter is full, not even quite to the very front, but it's full over there, so it's going to make it so much easier when I'm actually starting to put the insulation up, that I can just use up this material here and then go out to the temporary shelter as needed. But that's good. That's like a huge relief. We thought it was going to take us all day. Like, we thought that they were going to be sending flatbed after flatbed after flatbed, because we were told it was a full 40-foot shipping container. But they just had it on pallets, strapped, and they just offloaded it with the Moffett, the forklift that parks in the back of the trailer. Like, it was so much easier than we thought it was going to be, which means I didn't lose a day of work, because we had set aside a whole day just to be carrying insulation in. All right, everyone, the day is finally here. The insulation is going to start going in the walls. I was walking around trying to figure, okay, where do I actually want to start? We're actually going to start on this gable end on the front entry. We're going to get as much insulation on there as possible, and I really have no idea how long this is going to take. It could be one of those processes that takes us a while, or it might just go really, really fast. So this is where we're going to start. I'm excited. Let's get to work. Okay, well, what we're looking at here is the one gable end that faces what is going to be the front of the house. And what we have here is the first layer of insulation. Because the walls are 9 5/8 thick, and we couldn't get rock wool in that thickness, and we didn't. Well, I guess we could have done blown in, but we didn't. What we're doing is we're doing a 2x4 thick bat and then a 2x6 thick, and that should fit perfectly inside this opening here. So on the whole bottom section of this part of the house, we've done one layer. Now we're going to come back and we're going to put the second layer of 2x6 insulation in here, and that should fill that space. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make sure that anywhere where there's a seam where we had to cut it, because all of this insulation is either 16 inches on center or 24 inches on center, and the walls aren't either of those dimensions. Every single one is going to have a seam, and so what we're going to try to do is make sure that none of the lines overlap. So when we come over to this section here, we'll put the full piece here, and the cutoff section will go on this side. But it's moved along fairly well. The rock wall, it actually holds really snug between the studs here, and so that makes me feel more confident that when we start doing the incline of the actual roof, that I don't have to worry as much about bats possibly falling out. And so when we do the incline, rather than having the seams be this way, we're actually going to turn the bats sideways, and they'll just be stacked, fitting tightly between all of the trusses. But yeah, it's coming along really well. Okay, well, at this point, I think what I'm going to do, now that I have this section done, the main level, I think I'm going to go upstairs and continue this all the way to the peak. I'm not doing above the skylights right now, because I still have to build my jams, I think that's what they're called, or the casing or whatever, that fits into the side of the skylight. I still have to do that, and then put the vapor barrier so that I can like insulate and stuff. So I'm not ready to go around my skylights yet, but I still need to figure out exactly how I'm gonna do that. And so, what I think I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna go upstairs and continue floor to ceiling. I can finish this gable wall, this is right next to me here, and that side of the peak, and then I can maybe even start coming down the other side towards what's going to be the kitchen. I'm excited. Yesterday we made some phone calls, and we have people coming to help with the build now. While they're working on OSB, I'm gonna be upstairs working on finishing up the insulation, and hopefully with having 3 of us on site, things are just gonna move way faster. Let's go. I'm so ready to be done with insulation and OSB. Like, full confession time, I'm finding that either the trusses aren't fully plumb, which I know that they were off a little bit, or I think what actually happened was my first sheet of plywood on this side of the house, I don't think I installed it or mounted it perfectly level, and so each piece I put on has been an issue. I'm so ready to be done this section. The good news is that I'm up to almost the bottom of the collar ties, all the way down on this side, and on this side it's like halfway done. So there's like 5 more sheets on the bottom part, and then it's everything up above. Hopefully when I'm up there I have help, because it's going to be really tricky to get the sheets up there if I'm solo. But yeah, I am ready to be moved on to whatever the next stage is. 5 foot high on the sidewalls. On the second floor, front to back. It feels really good. And it's Friday. It's 10 after 5. What a perfect time to end that part of the project. So I guess on Monday, it's supposed to be just pouring rain all of next week. So next week, as far as I know, we're gonna be in here and the first project. Well, actually, I shouldn't say too much. Because oftentimes I talk about all my plans and then nothing that I talk about gets accomplished. Even just now, there's so much more space up here. I'm so excited. I want to bring Katie and the kids up here and have a picnic or something. Anyway, enough rambling from me. I'm gonna head home and we will check in later. All right, today is the day we are finally gonna start putting up the vapor barrier. Look at this stuff.
That's like a nice membrane.
It's like a,
It's definitely thicker than poly.
it's like a pool liner.